Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Andrew at Microphonic Designs here at the Van Alstyne High School new campus that they have. The campus that we're at today was built just last year and opened up. This is the percussion room that they've been in for the last year. So I'm with the Van Alstyne band. Super thankful to be back. The team of directors over here has worked with me for a while. I know them pretty well. And as with every group I work with, I'm very thankful to have the opportunity to help them have a successful season. So let's take a look at what we have going on this year. Very similar to what they've had in past years. And I can't remember if I've done a video of their setup before or not. But all we really have going on here is a modest 3 vibraphones over to the left on side 1. We've got 1, 2, 3 marimbas on the opposite side of the front ensemble. This year, we're rolling with 1 synthesizer in the middle, in the back row there. And that synthesizer cart also has a Roland SP404. So we'll take a look at that when we get back there. In the soundboard here, because this is a slightly smaller group and we have, like when we look up at the front ensemble from the soundboard, from left to right, we have the vibes first and then the marimbas. I've decided, you know what, let me go ahead and put the vibes on the left of the soundboard and then the marimbas, and then we have our electronics, and then we only are going to be working with 2 soloists this particular year. I've also got their DCAs set up, and then the few extra stuff, the sub-send and the main outs and all that. So this is their custom layer. That's how we have it set up. Down below, we have a Yamaha PX5 and a PX8 amplifier for their speaker stacks. And they have kind of an old school setup. They've got the Yamaha CM15Vs, which you can see here, coupled with a pair of the CW118Vs. So yeah, kind of an old school setup, and they actually modified, I think they had like a Bandad or the Shot Class folks, I can't remember who they said it was, but they got someone to modify their speaker carts, because in past seasons that they've had, the mains were up higher, and so they've lowered them down for truck equipment truck logistics. So with the mains lowered now, they're going to be able to actually put these on the lower deck of their semi-trailer and more efficiently load their gear for shows and all that. So they've made a few mods here, but they still have the ability, that little pole down there still gives them the ability to adjust the angle of the speaker, which they'll probably have to do a little bit more often. Now that these have been lowered down, we may have to tilt them back a little bit more to make sure that the sound from this thing gets up to the audience where we need it to go. I'll also note that the speakers are actually reversed today. So this is actually the left speaker, and the one over there is going to be the right speaker for side 2. And the reason that I want to make that designation here in the video is so that I don't forget, and then also because the cable holder arm here is on the side of the subwoofer. So I want this to face in towards the 50 so that they can just grab this, drop it on the ground, and go whenever they're getting set up. So that's kind of my thought, is that we'll just get these 2 speaker carts swapped when we go outside. We'll be good to go. I got all the backs of the subs and everything freshly color coded. So we're good to go with connections. Now, one thing that they are going to need that they do not have is a set of the 4-conductor speak-on cable. So I do have a video explaining what that is, but in a nutshell, we need a speak-on cable like this that carries the signal for the main and the subwoofer. And to do that, we have to have a speaker cable that has 4 copper wires on the inside. And I'm gonna set the camera down real quick, so hang tight. If I open this up, and sorry the camera's crooked, the little holder thing makes it go sideways. So if I open up this speak-on connector, we'll see that there are only 2 little copper wires in there. So this cable only is going to carry the signal for 1 speaker, and that's really important because when we have only 2 wires, what we're not going to do is mix the signal for the mains and the subs. That's not what we're going to do, because if we did that, then both the sub and the main would be spitting out the same signal as one another, and we don't want to do that. We want to make sure that the sub is only receiving sub frequencies and the mains are only receiving, you know, the higher frequencies, right? So that's what's going on there, just so I don't forget. So both sides, they need to order 2 of those 4-conductor speak-on cables, so I'm going to send them a quote probably later today. For cables, we have one 16-channel snake with the power cord attached to it coming back this way. And you'll see here how I've got the color codes. I've got, let's see. Yeah, so I've got marimbas 2 and 3 coming this way. They are colored green and orange, and we've got single and double stripe for high and low microphones. Vibes 1 through 3 and marimba 1 are coming into this side. So you'll notice that we have red and white and blue here, but we also have red and white over here. Well, these are for the synths, right? So I've tried to map this thing out so that as you look at the snake, you know, the connectors that are on this side are fed from vibes 1, 2, and 3 and marimba 1. And then here we have the 4 cables from marimbas 2 and 3. And then in the back of the snake, we've got the 4 channels coming from synth 1, left and right, and then the SP404 left and right. So I've tried to spatially map where the connectors go in, not based on the number, like the channel number in the snake, but based on where the cables are coming from, so that it's a little bit easier to tell what's going on. And of course, all the cables are color-coded nicely there. And I've already put the resonators back on, but y'all know me. The cabling is all really clean, real straightforward, down all of the instruments. And because they have a series of longer cables, there's just a lot of cable management going on. And I did discover a few broken cables in their inventory that we got rid of a little earlier today. So yeah, so that's really all the cabling. We're just bringing the signals from these 2 marimbas, which, you know, normally this one would be in. We're bringing them in this way, plugging them in there in the middle, and then all the cables for all these instruments come in and they join each other this way to meet to the snake. And you'll see that here, right? And again, here's just a bunch of cable management going on to make sure that we're shoring up all the extra length from these longer cables. Yeah. And then this vibe down here actually is the only one that we're missing a mount for. So we're gonna make sure they get a mount for this thing. And I've already got the cable ready to go with enough slack to plug it in wherever it ends up. So there's the mic for vibe 1. Let's go take a quick look at the synths. We'll go around this way just because we're here already. In the back, we have a Yamaha MOXF8. That's the synthesizer they're rocking. We've got the SP404A. And then the 1/4-inch cables, all 4 of them for these 2 things, come out the back, down here to some like cable management. And then I've got 2 DI boxes down here. And you'll see that this is a bundle of cables. This is just basically a homemade 4-channel snake that comes forward and plugs in right there. Red, double red, white, double white in this little quadrant here of the snake. So once the students know, like, hey, my 5 cables go on this side, these 4 cables go over here, and these 4 go back here, it should be easy. I'm not worried about them plugging in wrong. That's something that happens very rarely when something goes wrong and their minds are focused on something else. And then we've got a short power cable here that goes from the snake power cable right back here to the synth cart. And it looks like they're missing the monitor speaker, but they'll be able to plug that in just in the headphone jack or even a pass-through on the DI box. So that's one thing I'll make sure to mention to them as well, is hey, maybe we get the monitor speaker put on here. But yeah, that's it. Fairly simple. Oh, and you know what? We have the 2 soloist mics. One of them is actually a sideline microphone. I've got that one ready to go right here. I've color-coded it orange, so it's nice and visible. And I've put a piece of tape on this mic here so that they know which way it needs to face forward. And then there's the cable. I'm not 100% sure if this cable is going to be long enough for where it needs to go, but I'm also not 100% sure what yard line it's going on. But the long cable here for this mic, this is a soprano sax microphone, It's gonna plug in right back here to the connector labeled with orange. That's number 14. And then of course, my thought is like they can have the cable plugged in there and then they can prep the cable on the handle here with like a cable cuff or something like that. And then they deploy it out with the mic to wherever it needs to go. And then we've got a Shure SLXD4 unit down here for the concert euphonium soloist. So we're not gonna be using the two SLX units they have. SLXD is gonna be a little bit more reliable, I think. At least it's a little bit newer in any case. And this is what we're gonna use. And I have tested that wireless channel. And that mic is a Beta, what is it? It's a WB98HC. So it's a Beta 98 with the horn clip. And that is in this little pouch in their drawer here with some extra cables and stuff. So they are all good to go. I'm a little sad that I did not get to do a proper sound check today, but I'm just gonna get them set up with you know, some 4-pole speak-on cables, and then they'll be rocking and rolling from there. So because I've done enough of this work and I've made sure that all the wires and routing is correct, I know they'll get sound properly. The gain settings are in the TF, you know, my normal plus 12 to get them started, and I've already sound checked everything and made sure that at least signal's coming into the board. So they should be ready to go as soon as we get the proper speak-on cables. So let me know if you've got questions about the setup down below, or if you've got comments about it. If you yourself would like help getting your front ensemble set up with audio, it may not be too late. You know what? Any time of year is good. Even if it's in like November and you're like, you know, we weren't particularly happy with our sound this year, get in touch and we'll start planning for the next season. I would be happy to hear from you, and me and my team would love to work with you, whether that's for getting the engineering stuff done, like the actual audio, like services that we do on site, or if it's upgrading or adding gear to your setup, we do that as well. We just want to make sure that you guys have more time to focus on your students and that the audio stuff does not get in your way and affect your ability to give your students your best every day. So that's what we're all about here. So until next time, y'all, take care. Peace. I'll see you then.